It's October 2007. Benazir Bhutto has just returned home to Pakistan. She's been in self-imposed exile for 8 long years, splitting her time between London and Dubai. But now she's back, and her supporters are ecstatic.
I dreamt of this day for so many months and years. I counted the hours, I counted the minutes and the seconds.
Hundreds of thousands flood the streets of Karachi to welcome her home. They wave flags, they dance, they chant her name. To them, she's more than a politician. She's a symbol of hope. Bhutto's convoy is making its way from the airport to a rally at which she's scheduled to speak. It's night time, but for some reason the streetlights have been switched off. Benazir's security detail uses floodlights to scan the crowds for threats, but with so many people out, it's a difficult, almost impossible task. As the clock ticks past midnight, the truck she's in crosses a bridge when suddenly 2 blasts in quick succession. An explosion tears through the front of her security detail. 3 police vans are destroyed and over 130 people are killed. Remarkably, Bhutto survives the suicide bombing. She's shaken, but not broken. The message, though, is clear. Someone wants her dead. Hello, my friend. I'm Aslan Pahari, and this is Assassins, the show where we tell the stories of history's most shocking assassinations. And today, it's the assassination of Benazir Bhutto, the first woman to become Prime Minister of a Muslim country. This episode is close to home for me. I mean, despite being born and raised in Australia, my family comes from Pakistan, and most of my relatives still live over there. In fact, Benazir Bhutto was assassinated not too far from my mother's village in Punjab. Unfortunately, Pakistan has a long, troubled history of political assassination. The country was only 4 years old when the first Prime Minister was shot dead during a political rally. But Benazir Bhutto's assassination was particularly heartbreaking for her many supporters. Bhutto represented their great hope to finally break free from years of military dictatorship. Benazir Bhutto was born into power. Her father, Oxford-educated barrister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, was a political titan. He founded the Pakistan People's Party, or the PPP, one of Pakistan's 3 main political parties, and served as both president and Prime Minister of Pakistan in the 1970s. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was a charismatic populist who promised to uplift the poor and stand firm against military rule. But he would pay a price for his ambitions. Benazir wasn't just the eldest daughter, she was the heir to a political dynasty. Contrary to the social norms for women at the time, her education was top priority. Benazir studied at Harvard, then Oxford. She dreamed about becoming a diplomat or perhaps a journalist. But in 1979, Benazir's entire world would turn upside down. Her father was overthrown in a military coup and hanged. Before his death, Benazir had returned home to see him in jail, as she would later recall to the BBC in an emotional interview.
It was horrible. Now when I look back on it, my father was very calm, and I keep seeing his face.
At the end of the meeting, I said that I'd like to hug my father goodbye. They wouldn't even open the cell doors for me to kiss him goodbye. And then we just went back and started the countdown to death.
After Zulfikar was hanged, Benazir assumed leadership of the PPP. With the trauma of her father's death still raw, Benazir put everything into politics. But it wasn't easy. She was imprisoned, watched, and silenced, leading her party in opposition against the regime that had overthrown her father and had him killed. And yet, she kept rising. Less than a decade into a political career, at just 35, she did the unthinkable. She became the first woman in the modern Muslim world to lead a country. Bhutto believed in a secular state. She was a liberal like her father, but such ideals were fiercely opposed within Pakistan by Islamist factions and the military. They didn't want a secular government, especially one led by a woman, and especially a woman as motivated and beloved as Benazir Bhutto. By 1999, the military had seized power once again, and Benazir went into a self-imposed exile, watching from afar as her country fell deeper into violence, religious extremism, and authoritarian rule. But she wasn't done. Far from it. In 2007, after 8 long years away, Benazir saw another chance. She made a deal to return, this time with promises from the Pakistani military and support from Washington. The US and Pakistan had been key allies during the war in Afghanistan. Pakistan had been crucial to the war effort, allowing US and NATO forces to establish supply routes into the country. But there were factions in the Pakistani establishment that supported the Taliban, both ideologically and materially. Benazir knew this and threatened to put an end to it. Elections were coming, and she planned to run again. She wanted to restore democracy, to fight terrorism, and to give Pakistan a new future. Her return was electric. On October 18, 2007, she landed in Karachi. Hundreds of thousands flooded the streets to welcome her. But, as we heard earlier, celebration soon turned to carnage. It was one of the deadliest political attacks in Pakistan's history. The day after that assassination attempt, Benazir addressed the nation. She said she wouldn't hide, that fear would not win, that she had returned to serve her people, and nothing would stop her.
We are not prepared to surrender our great nation to the militants.
But in private, she knew the truth. She had enemies. Some were extremists. Some perhaps wore suits and uniforms. Her security team urged caution. Stay inside. Trust no one. But Benazir insisted on being visible, present among the people. She had already lived through exile, betrayal, and assassination attempts. She believed in fate, and she believed her country still needed her. But her return had started a countdown, and this time there would be no escape. December 27, 2007. Benazir Bhutto wakes early in Islamabad. It's the final day of her campaign. The national election is just 2 weeks away. The campaign has taken her all over the country. Lahore, Quetta, Peshawar, city after city, drawing tens of thousands of supporters wherever she goes. And now, she's headed to Rawalpindi's Liaquat Bagh to speak at a rally. Liaquat Bagh is a park heavy with history. It was here, in 1951, that Pakistan's first Prime Minister was gunned down. But today, it's Benazir's turn to stand on that stage. Her advisors warn her, stay inside. Foreign governments advise her, limit your appearances. Her family begs her, don't trust the crowds. But she's Benazir Bhutto. She's here to be seen. By late afternoon, the park is overflowing. The red, green and black flags of Pakistan's People's Party flutter above the crowd. The people chant, cheer and hope. She takes the stage, confident, charismatic. She speaks about jobs, schools and prosperity. She speaks about healing. She waits a moment for the cheers to subside. Then she speaks about hope. She can feel it in the air. Next she addresses terrorism, calling out her enemies by name. She says Pakistan must belong to its people, not its generals. The sun begins to dip. The crowd roars. Her speech ends. She smiles, waves, and then she climbs into her white, bulletproof SUV. The sun catches her white headscarf as the convoy slowly makes its way through the park. The crowd presses in. Her advisors urge her, stay down. She hesitates, then stands up through the sunroof. Hand raised, scarf fluttering. A moment of triumph, of connection. And then, from the left side of the road, near a police checkpoint, a man pushes forward. White shalwar kameez, dark sunglasses, calm face. He raises a pistol, and in an instant, this hopeful scene is shattered. 3 gunshots crack the air in rapid succession. The first shot misses. The second strikes her neck. The third hits the back of her head. A second later, a thunderous explosion. The man detonates his vest. A fireball tears through the crowd. Her SUV rocks violently in the blast. People scramble in every direction. Smoke, screams, shattered glass. Blood stains the pavement. The back window of the car smashes. Where only moments before there'd been music, now there's chaos. Benazir collapses through the sunroof back into the SUV, bleeding out from her wounds. Her guards scream for help. The driver speeds through the chaos. They reach Rawalpindi General Hospital within minutes. Doctors rush to her side, but it's too late. Benazir Bhutto is declared dead on arrival. The woman who returned to save Pakistan is gone. And with her, something else dies. The fragile hope for a better future held by all those that supported her. News of her death spreads within minutes. Across Pakistan, people mourn, scream, and burn tires in the streets. Shops close, cities shut down. The country is in shock. The government claims that the Taliban killed her. They blame a young man named Baitullah Masood, a militant leader hiding in the mountains in the northwest of the country. But many people don't believe it. The story feels too simple, too easy. At the hospital, no autopsy is performed on the body of Benazir Bhutto. This is in keeping with Islamic tradition, where autopsies aren't typically performed, although modern scholars say there are exceptions, like in the investigation of a crime. But Benazir's husband, Asif Ali Zardari, doesn't want an autopsy. He wants to bury his wife quickly, with honor. And the very next day, after her assassination, Benazir is laid to rest next to her father. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in the Sindhi village of Gari Khuda Bakhsh. But it wasn't just Benazir's husband who didn't want an autopsy performed. Officials say one isn't needed. They claim she died from hitting her head on a metal lever in the SUV. Not the bullets, not the bomb, but a metal lever in her car. But people had seen the bullets. They had witnessed the explosion. And there's more. It's soon revealed that just hours after the assassination, the crime scene was hosed down. Fire trucks sprayed the area clean. Blood, bone, and all the clues gone. The public are confused and angry. Her party demands answers. Who gave the order to clean the crime scene? Why didn't her security stop the killer? Why did she only have basic protection that day, even after the first attack in Karachi? The United Nations launches an investigation. In their report, they say the Pakistani government failed to protect her. Benazir's death is now more than a tragedy. It's a mystery. A woman was killed in front of the world, but the truth is buried deeper than her body. Benazir Bhutto is gone, but the questions keep growing. Everyone has a theory. Everyone has a suspect, but no one has proof. The government sticks to its story. They say the Taliban killed her. Baitullah Masood gave the order. A young suicide bomber, brainwashed and full of hate, did the deed. But Benazir had named her enemies before she died. In a letter to a friend and in emails, she warned of threats from inside the government. She believed that some people in Pakistan's own military and intelligence services wanted her dead. She said they were afraid of her return, afraid she would win, afraid she would expose them. One name kept coming up: Hamid Gul, a former chief of the ISI, Pakistan's powerful military and spy agency. Gul had not been shy about his support for the Taliban and his opposition to Bhutto. Another name was Pervez Musharraf, Pakistan's military ruler at the time. Benazir had agreed to work with him under US pressure, but their alliance had fallen apart. He didn't want her back in power. Musharraf denies everything. He says Benazir took too many risks, but he had been in charge of her security and it had failed critically. A Rawalpindi court even indicted him in Benazir's murder, but he went into exile to escape that trial. While many believe he would have been convicted, unpopular as he was by them, others say the evidence just wasn't there. Some believe the attack was planned by more than one group. Maybe the Taliban did pull the trigger, but others helped from behind the curtain. Maybe it was a deal. Militants wanted her gone, and someone in power let it happen. Some think she was killed because she wanted to fight terrorism. Others think she knew too much about secret deals between the army and jihadi groups. Some even say her own allies betrayed her. Several senior PPP members were reportedly excluded from the investigation. The United Nations calls it a criminal act of failure, arguing that Pakistani police had deliberately failed to investigate because someone powerful wanted the case closed. Quote, "The responsibility of Miss Bhutto's security on the day of her assassination rested with the federal government, the government of Punjab, and the Rawalpindi District Police. None of these entities took the necessary measures to respond to the extraordinary, fresh, and urgent security risks that they knew she faced." End quote. To this day, many believe the truth is still hidden. But what's clear is this: Benazir Bhutto didn't just die from bullets or a bomb. she died from silence and fear, from power games played in dark rooms. She was murdered in front of the world, but her killers still walk free. When Benazir Bhutto is buried in her family's graveyard, thousands walk for miles just to see her one last time. Women cry, men beat their chests. Her white coffin is draped in the flag of her party. The sky is grey, the air heavy. Across Pakistan, cities burn. People are angry, hurt, and lost. Benazir had been their hope. Now, she was just a memory. Her husband, Asif Ali Zardari, steps forward. He holds her will in his hand. In it, Benazir names him as her political heir. Their son, Bilawal, just 19 years old, is made chairman of the Pakistan People's Party.
My mother always said, democracy is the best revenge.
The PPP ride the wave of sympathy to win the 2008 elections. Zardari, her husband, becomes president. Yet still, the investigation drags on. Eventually, the police make arrests, and 5 young men are jailed. But the case against them is weak. Witnesses disappear, evidence goes missing. In 2017, 10 years after the assassination, all the suspects are set free. No one is convicted. Some say Benazir's death changed nothing. Corruption in Pakistan didn't die. Extremism grew worse. Others believe her assassination opened the world's eyes, revealing just how deep Pakistan's problems lie. How violence, lies, and fear control everything. Today, her photos still hang in homes and shops. Her voice still echoes in old speeches. Her face still shines on billboards. She has become a symbol, not just of what was lost, but of what could have been. She came back to save her country, but her country